All right, up and at it once again. So, you know, I've been receiving a lot of downloads, a lot of information, and you know, the things in which that I know, I'm not chosen to speak on those things. So, I had a little talk with God this morning, and after my conversation with God, a spirit guide came to me, and there was a situation about a true love that they had here this lifetime on earth. And, I have been trying to tell this specific person that who their true love was, but they just could not believe it. So with everything that has been happening, everything in which that has been being exposed in the astral plane as well as within the world, this individual came to the realization of her true love. So she's a black woman and he is a white man. And, I'm going to tell you the truth. It has a lot to do with the church and her perception around the church and her insecurity with being a black woman, just being black, period, not feeling good enough, for this man because he's white. We were having a conversation and she says, well, what if something happens and he leaves me for a white woman? So I told her, well, I asked her, I said, well, how does that make you feel? You know, so, I mean, she was being a little egotistical, you know, because the thing is that I had to explain to her, he did not choose you because you were black. It just so happened that he came to the realization that you were his true love. So when we come to the realization of true love, it's kind of like all the other illusions just have a tendency to melt away. And we're completely stripped and bare, naked within our truth. And it can be scary because the way in which that we feel about somebody, it can just scare us to death. And when I say scare us to death, meaning that it can scare us so bad that it can kill off the life within us. So I had to get her to understand. I said, for one, he's a white man. Then on top of that, white women are his comfort zone. So if he's hurt, of course, he would run to his comfort zone. And if things were to happen between the two of you, regardless of whose end it's on, him as a man, period, well, he doesn't want to make it seem like he's looking for you and anybody else. So, of course, he's not going to move towards another black woman. Just because he fell in love with you and you are black doesn't mean that now he's just going to start liking black women. So you can't see that as some type of confirmation for your own validation of who you are to him. So then she kind of breaks down and she tells me, she's just like, she starts going in talking about church, talking about her growing up around other black people and the things that were being said and the racism in which that she experienced and her family experience and telling stories, about the history, their own personal experiences. So, she was just covered. She was covered in the illusions of the world as to who she should be and what she should think. So, when I began to break things down to her, she just started crying. And so I led her to his heart because he needs healing. And the only person that it's going to come from is her. He's so in tune with her when it comes to true love because he's able to break through the illusion of the physical. It doesn't matter if she has transition and now she only exists as a spirit. He's been holding her in his heart for a very long time. And, I told her because she thinks, she was afraid. She felt like it was pointless. She's like, he's not going to remember me. He's not going to think about me. He's not going to know. He will absolutely feel your presence when you are around. So I led her to his heart. And from there, they're going to be doing the work. Now, after she left me, there was a message that came in about a mother and a daughter. So the mother, I believe the mother is a Virgo and the daughter is a Leo. Okay. So when it comes to true love, your daughter is your true love. Now, I had been kind of picking up on some very disturbing things about the mother. One thing I know about Virgos is that they can be extremely critical and very cruel, very bitter, very judgmental. But at the same time, Virgo has a very down-to-earth side. But it's very close to the sign of Libra, which is very wicked. So it's kind of like, the Virgo and the Libra, they have a tendency to move in between each other's energy. Okay, so what us dealing with the Leo, and the thing is that I have to use the zodiac signs because I don't know who this is. Okay, so the thing is that when it comes to the Leo, because Virgo is in between Leo and Libra. So there's almost kind of like this constant push and pull between darkness and light, between warmth and coldness. So it just kind of seems like, the mother is more so leaning towards the more colder, darker, wicked side of things. Okay, so the daughter is a warm heart, warm spirit. With Virgo being in between the Leo and the Libra, Virgo can also move towards the warmth. So, I do kind of feel like that there's a Libra in there somewhere. And I feel like it's a secret love. You think that this Libra person is your true love. But the thing is that your daughter is your true love. And for a long time, a very long time, you have been choosing your lover over your child. And I just heard that the lover is not even the father of the child. So, there's something about your daughter that really intimidates you because it's like you can see how her energy would be so appealing to this Libra. But I'm going to tell you, Libras are very challenging signs. I'm trying to tell you, only Leo can deal with a Libra. Absolutely. Like any other match with Libra is very challenging. So I mean, I've seen it work best with Leo and Libra. So the thing is that, mom, my thing is, I'm not here to judge you because as a woman, I understand. There's like this deep craving for the love of a lifetime, and depending on how your life has been, just like with my spirit guide, you kind of have been, it's like what you should be doing, maybe because of your religious background, certain things, yada yada yada, So you're covered in the illusion of things. And then I feel like you have a tendency to be very threatened by women who you think and who you feel would be a good match for this man. Because somewhere within your mind, you feel like there's too much between the two of you that is keeping you apart to be with this person. So, as a woman, you're focused on that love. There's a deep, deep, deep craving and desire. And with this Libra individual, you think that you have found it. And so there's something to where you have been fiercely competing with other women, fiercely trying to protect this person. And then it's like when you look up and you pay attention to your daughter, when you interact with your daughter, you're telling yourself that your daughter is a lot like these other women, these no good women for this Libra man or whatever. So whether you want to admit it or not, your way of thinking about that whole situation between your lover and your daughter, it has been, you have had the wrong idea about things for a very long time. And your daughter brings out a lot of your shadows and your demons, a lot of those things that you deeply tried to hide. So they're telling me that they said she comes off as if she's some type of princess. Okay, so that's for the mom. So which means when I hear that, that means that you have a tendency to really gaslight people. You try to make it seem like you're a down-to-earth, wholesome woman, when in all actuality, the truth of who you are, you're a bitch. And you have a very evil side to yourself. But my thing is that the way in which that I feel, you're not like a ruthless, mad bitch. It's more so kind of like, it's kind of like a diva, you know what I'm saying? To where you're just, there's like this nastiness about you, but there's also like this fierceness about you too. But then you try to shadow it or cloak it with down home southern syndrome is what I heard. I don't know what the fuck. Down home syndrome? Down, child, I don't know. Whatever, you heard what I said, but but the thing is that, that man is not your true love. And I want to say he has been rotting your heart, but it's not him. It is you. Because of the choices and decisions that you are making, you are a very jealous and insecure person, behind the scenes. I feel like when it comes to your insecurity, you try to mask it with like being shy or some shit. But then there's another side to you to where you portray just to be this very confident, independent woman. But it's kind of like with dealing with that situation with that secret lover Libra, it has been stripping you spiritually, like over the years. Because I do pick up that this has been something going on for years. So the truth is that for one, you were wrong for what you have done towards other women because of this man. And the thing is that you had no idea that you were bullying, you were manifesting you were manifesting your daughter being bullied by women like you. So whether your daughter tells you or not, there's like this very uncomfortable vibe between the two of you. Like, there are times to where you try your hardest to gaslight people and act like you're unbothered, but your daughter can see it. She can feel it within you. And she doesn't necessarily feel like she is something important to you, but she wants your validation. So the spirit guide that I was actually working with this morning, she actually had issues with her mother too, you know, to where mom was too hard on her and she wanted more of the nurturing. And, mom wanted to make her tough. Mom saw her potential. Mom saw her talent. So, it's kind of like in mom's mind, I'm going to make her the greatest. And in order to be the greatest, I can't be soft on her. I have to be tough on her. But see, that caused a rip within their relationship. And that affected this person for a very long time. It's about the acceptance. It starts at home. When we don't feel accepted by the parent, we feel like we're not good enough, and whatever they're trying to teach us, they're trying to give us, they're trying to mold us into being, we work hard at it because we want their approval, but at the same time, there's a part of you that's just like, they're not really acting and behaving as if they love me. Is what they're trying to make me into so much more important than them loving me? So your daughter, she may have a tendency to be more up under her dad. It's kind of like she chooses her dad a lot. And the thing is that you sit there and you tell yourself, it's kind of like, in a way, you are a little Jay, but you're not understanding why she is the way in which that she is. You're not understanding the uncomfortable vibe between the two of you. There's a lot of things that she's not really saying. She's a child, and then in her mind, she's confused, but at the same time, she wants to please you. I feel like she's a teenager, and for a long time, she's trying to win your approval, and in so many ways, it's like she mimics your behavior, like she wants to be like you. But there's something about you to where you don't see it as anything innocent. Your daughter really triggers you in a lot of issues that you have with women. But this is why I be telling people your children are a blessing, because she's highlighting some of those issues that you have within you when it comes to dealing with other women. And especially women like her or with her consciousness. So, like I said, you have been manifesting like bullying your daughter for a very long time because you tried to bully a lot of other women that are like her, that have her consciousness. You're going through something. You're trying to figure it out. You're trying to put it together. You're trying to understand certain things. But at the same time, it's kind of like you keep running away. That's your daughter. You know what I'm saying? You can't blame other people for the relationship with you and your daughter. You have been the one that has not been a good mother to her. You have not been a good friend to her. You have not been a good mentor to her. All she ever wanted to do was to be like her mother. But as she gets older and that the awkwardness is developing between the two of you, she's been breaking free. She feels left out and abandoned by you. And she doesn't understand why. You don't understand why. So that's why I'm telling you. Maybe you need some help with looking at your own behavior. and accepting your own truth. So I feel like you're very judgmental of your daughter too. I believe that I heard you sit back and say, she's going to be all about men. And I think that's why you're kind of tough on her with trying to be her mentor too. But it's just like, girl, that's you. You do all that you can to make it seem like you're a certain type of woman, but you are the total opposite. You show people who you want to be instead of actually being that person. So the thing is that your child is actually that woman. So here is when we let our children teach us. We learn from our children. You spend a lot of time being a mom. Well, you know what I've noticed? Well, sometimes daughters want to mother their mother too. Especially with her coming more so into her womanhood. And it's not an egotistical thing, but it's kind of like she wants you to be proud of her as a growing, inspiring young woman. And she also wants to be able to reflect to you what a great job that you have done with her. But there's so many glitches within this situation, within this relationship. So if you're looking for, if you are chasing true love, it is your daughter. So the spirit guide that I was working with, when she was here, she thought her daughter was her true love, when in all actuality, it was somebody else. But when it comes to you, your daughter is your true love, and it's not that man. So my thing is that, you have a choice. Now that you know, who are you going to choose? Because when it comes to your daughter, there's a lot that you have to clean up with your daughter, and you have to be able to face that. I have a feeling you're not going to feel too good. It may bring you a lot of anxiety and you wanting to run away and wanting to blame somebody else. The choice is yours, but you're not going to win with running away. You're going to become more and more delusional about who you are, about your life, about your intentions, and people are going to start noticing. Okay. So, there's not anything else that I picked up. So we're going to leave it there. Until the next time, we'll talk again. Thank you.